Rick Klahsen, who's Managing Director and Partner of RSM, is it McGladrey? McGladrey, in Bloomington, Minnesota. RSM McGladrey is a leading national business consulting, accounting, and tax firm that focuses on mid-sized companies. He's here to testify on behalf of the S Corporation Association. The S Corporation Association is the only organization in D.C. exclusively devoted to promoting and protecting the interests of America's 3.8 million S Corp owners. Thank you for being here today. And I apologize to you and all of you if I sneezed during your testimony. Thanks.
Chairwoman Bean, Ranking Member Buchanan, and other members of the subcommittee, thank you for the opportunity to testify today. My name is Rick Klahsen. I'm a Managing Director in the National Tax Department of RSM McGladrey and the National Service Line Leader for Tax Advisory and Compliance. RSM McGladrey, when combined with McGladrey & Pullen, is the 5th largest business consulting, accounting, and tax firm that focuses on mid-sized companies. I also serve on the Board of Advisors for the S Corporation Association and submit my testimony today on their behalf. I want to thank you for holding this hearing, and I ask that my full testimony be inserted into the record. Before Congress created S corporations, entrepreneurs had two basic choices. They could form a regular C corporation and face 2 layers of federal tax, or they could form a partnership and put all of their personal assets at risk. The creation of the S corporation in 1958 gave small business owners a better option, a single layer of tax with full liability protection. How significant was the creation of Subchapter S? Nearly a half-century later, S corporations are the most popular corporate structure in America, with twice as many firms as C corporations. This growth has created its own challenges. The number of S corporation returns has increased from less than 500,000 in 1978 to more than 4 million today. At the same time, the number of regular C corporations peaked in 1986 at 2.6 million and has declined steadily since then. The growth of pass-through businesses, coupled with the decline of C corps, has shifted an increasing amount of business income from the corporate tax code to the individual tax code. This means that tax policy for businesses is increasingly affected by changes to the individual tax code. We believe policymakers in Washington need to be acutely aware of the dynamic between the individual tax rates and business income as they consider broad-based tax reform. The growth of limited liability companies and the need to update rules dating back 5 decades combine to make S corporation reform an important part of any tax code reform. Over the years, the S Corporation Association has worked with policymakers in Congress as well as allied trade associations to develop a list of critical reforms Congress should consider. These legislative priorities are included in House Bill 4840, the S Corporation Modernization Act, and its companion bill, Senate 3063. Introduced by Ways and Means Committee Congressman Ron Kind and Jim Ramstad, the bill is designed to simplify rules under which S corporations operate, and it is endorsed by an impressive group of business associations. Another bill is House Bill 3874, the Small Business Growth and Opportunity Act, introduced by Congressman Steve Kagan. The proposal would decrease the holding period of assets subject to the built-in gains tax from 10 years to 7 years. This latter provision is particularly important as Congress examines what provisions might be included in a possible stimulus package. The built-in gains tax applies to any appreciated asset held by a corporation converting to S corporation. Under built-in gains, these firms are required to hold these assets for at least 10 years or be subject to a punitive level of tax. Hundreds of thousands of S corporations nationwide are likely sitting on locked-up capital as they cannot access or redeploy these assets due to prohibitive tax implications of built-in gains. In an economy where a 1 or 2% change in growth can mean the difference between a recession and moderate growth, eliminating that lock-in effect and allowing those assets to become fully productive could be significant. Another challenge to the S corporation community is a proposed reduction in the tax rate to C corporations. The approach outlined in Treasury and in Congress would reduce the marginal tax rates on corporations while broadening the tax base. The challenge is that many of the businesses that use Section 199, LIFO accounting, IC DISC, and other tax benefits eliminated as part of the base broadening are not C corporations. In other words, the effort to cut the marginal tax on C corporations would also significantly raise taxes on S corporations and partnerships. The S Corporation Association has met with the tax staffs at Treasury and Ways and Means Committee to discuss this adverse outcome for pass-through businesses. A final important issue to the S corporation community is how to appropriately tax income earned by S corporation shareholders who actively work at their business. The S Corporation Association appreciates the concern that certain taxpayers are paying less than their fair share of payroll taxes. However, the IRS already has the tools necessary to identify these taxpayers and to force them to pay the correct level of tax. While applying these rules may be time-intensive and costly, alternative proposals risk raising payroll taxes on family-owned businesses already fully complying with the law. Getting the solution right to this challenge is important, and the S Corporation Association looks forward to working with the Ways and Means Committee and the Small Business Committee to ensure whatever reform is enacted does not adversely impact law-abiding business owners. Chairwoman Bean, the S Corporation Association, and I greatly appreciate the opportunity to testify today and to highlight various issues of concern to the S Corporation community. I thank you for the opportunity, and I'm happy to answer any questions you might have.